Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Walking Bucket. And I am not by myself today. I am actually joined by Hal Hershfelt from the Washington Spirit. Hal, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing very well. And I need to get started with two questions that everybody wants to know. First, how's the ankle feeling? And second, how's Bobby?
The ankle's feeling great. Getting better every day. I mean, it's nothing too long term, but I feel like with ankles, you just got to be careful because they're susceptible to re-rolling. So just playing it safe and yeah, getting better every day.
Perfect, perfect. And we also need that update on Bobby. Everything okay with the
Oh
cat?
yeah, Bobby's great.
Good.
She's my bestie. I love her. I actually just got her a cat tree, so she actually hasn't. I'd love to say that she's ecstatic about it, but I haven't quite. She hasn't figured out how to use it yet, which seems pretty basic, but maybe she'll figure it out in a couple weeks.
We're all just doing our best, Bobby
Yeah, we
included.
are.
So, all right, I want to look back at the Challenge Cup. It seemed like it was kind of a tale of two halves there for the Spirit.
For
The
sure.
first half kind of seemed a little nerves, like Orlando seemed very together. Washington seemed like, okay, we're still getting our feet under, but then you see the second half just look like a totally different team. What changed during halftime?
I honestly think, like, I mean, that was our first game of the season. I know technically it wasn't a regular season game, but I still count it as a regular game. Like, I just think that we were getting our feet underneath us. We have like a lot of new players in key positions for us. And I mean, I remember how I was the first year trying to like get in the system, get in the rhythm, and that just takes time. And good thing this season's super long. I feel like our group really has like so much potential when it comes to that. But we definitely settled in towards the second half. I think it was just a matter of getting our feet underneath us and kind of getting used to each other and more confidence. I feel like we're a little frantic the first half, but the second half, I feel like we're like, okay, we're in this now. Like we need to play.
And you definitely did play, end up beating Orlando, the team that you all lost to last year. How big was that for you just to be like, okay, hey, we can do this. We can compete. Like, look out for the Spirit.
Yeah, that felt good for the ego for sure. After last year, how the final turned out, unfortunately, it felt good to be able to pull that win out. Also, like I really don't think that was our best game either, and the fact that we were able to win, I think goes to show like our resilience and how persistent we are. Like things might not be going our way, but we'll figure out how to pull out a win.
I want to talk about Ashley Hatch for a second. There's a lot of people who are talked about on Washington as being kind of like key players for the team. It was Sanchez before the deal. Trinity gets talked about a lot, but Hatch is just locked in to start the season. 3 goals so far. How important is she to the team on the field and off?
I mean, Hatch, like, not even just this season. I know she's had like a hot start this season, but last season, like towards the back half of the season, I feel like she just is on the incline. And I feel like it's just so awesome to see because she's such a good person and good leader off the field too. Like, I go to her all the time just asking her dumb, like last year, like rookie crap that I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, I would go to Hatch. So, she's just been so great for our younger players, but also she's such a great example on the field every day in the weight room, at practice. She just always brings intensity, and I feel like it comes out in important games and important moments. She's just been so consistent. So I love it.
She's so much fun to watch. Always out there with a smile on her face. It's great to see.
Yeah.
Kind of shift into more sad news. We saw Tierna Davidson recently go down with an ACL tear, and I believe, if I'm correct, that you tore yours in high school. And
Yeah.
I'm actually doing this interview from Marietta, Georgia, believe it or not, where you went to
Oh,
high school. Yeah,
nice.
that's where I'm
Yeah.
based out of.
Yeah.
What advice would you have to Tierna recovering from ACL? We saw Juju Watkins at USC recently just tear hers too. So in your own kind of experience, what's kind of like the key advice you'd give?
Um, I feel like you can kind of like use this piece of advice with everything. It's something that I try to do. And I mean, it's so sad how common it is. I mean, just hearing all those names that have done it only recently, and they're all big names. So I feel like it's getting a big focal point now, but how often it happens. Like I was coaching a clinic like this past off season, and I was meeting like a bunch of like 12, 13-year-old girls who had already torn their ACL and come back. And I was like, oh my God. Like I feel like it's just crazy how common it is. But honestly, just showing up every day, I feel like you can use that like with everything when it comes to PT and stuff. I mean, I'm kind of going through that now where I'm like I don't want to do like ankle pumps for the thousandth time, but like you just got to show up and do it regardless of how you feel or like mentally how you feel that day. Like just showing up, putting in the work and like trusting. that it's going to get you somewhere. I think for me, it was like trusting all the people that were like trying to rehabilitate me and help me out and just like really buying into like the exercises, like even the little things like that helped me. So, yeah.
Perfect. Want to talk about some kits real quick. You're used to kind of bright colors from playing at Clemson with the bright orange to last year's highlighter color
Oh,
to even this year's like it kind of reminds me of like an Oregon Ducks type feel, if you will. Are you just kind of used to those bright colors and kind of standing out in the field right now?
honestly, yeah. I mean, like you said in college, I was a bright orange or a bright purple. Like, they're very distinct colors, and I feel like with the spirit, like everyone knows what that neon yellow is.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I kind of love it. It makes it like distinctly ours. So I think it's cool. Yeah.
But we did see the Spirit recently tease the cherry blossom gear, and it looks fantastic. I saw that yesterday on Instagram. I was like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
Washington, we like this.
No, they've
So
been stepping it up with the gear. I mean, like we partnered up with like a separate like designer and she's been doing like our merch as of lately and I mean it's so cool. It's kind of like retro. Like I love it.
do the players kind of like geek out about the kit day with like the rest of us do when they drop? Obviously, you all are seeing it ahead of time, but are you all kind of that excited about it as well?
Yeah, because we can get it off our chest. Like I feel like we keep it a secret for a while and we're like, we gotta see what the people think, or like we can't wait for it to drop because they did so good with like our media and like the drop and everything. I think all of us were excited to see that. Yeah.
Love it, love it. I want to talk about the Olympics real quick. How valuable was that experience for you, and just how surprised were you to kind of get that nod, if you will?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, like, I feel like I put out a really good performance that first half of my rookie year. I mean, through my rookie year too, but it was really cool to see like um I feel like in the past it was harder to get looks for like the national team or like new people to kind of like cycle in and it was cool that like a bunch of us it was like okay we performed in our first year like there you go you're going to the Olympics like because I we kind of like deserved it based on our league play so it was really cool just to be a part of that and I mean it was beautiful and being able to see like the city like during the Olympics. I mean, I got to see the Eiffel Tower. That's insane. I'm from like Mississippi, so it's like it's a lot different from that. But it's so cool. Like I get to look back and be like, I went to like an Olympics, like after never being called into like a national team camp in my life. Like it was amazing. It was a dream come true.
Nice. And the last big one we have here is the NWSL kind of did away with the draft this year. As a player in your second year, what are your thoughts about kind of like the power dynamic shifting to the players, and if other leagues should kind of follow suit with that?
I mean, I love it. I was blessed. I had like a good experience when it came to the draft, and I ended up at a place that I'm so like thankful for, and I'm very happy with where I am. But like, I know a lot of people that wasn't necessarily the case. And I think it's just great that we kind of have more autonomy when it comes to like where we want to end up, what we think is a better fit for us, and like where we see a future, like home. Because I think like yes, like this is our job for sure. And like coming into this job, you have to have the expectation that you might make a move at some point, but to be able to have more like stability in one area. I know that doesn't have to do the draft more, so it has to do with like non-consensual trades, but I think it's really cool that we have more like autonomy over our careers and how like we want our lives to look.
Definitely, definitely. All right. I wrap up every interview with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go. You can give one word answers, expand however you want, but we're going to start with two word associations. Trinity Rodman,
Talented.
Croy Bethune,
Shifty. Coffee.
as a defensive minded midfielder who, really anticipates very well in yourself. Who's the hardest player for you to slow down in the open field?
Like in the league or on my team?
In the league.
Oh God. Um, This is like more general. I can't think of one person right now, but when I think of people like defensively, I think of like Alyssa Thompson because she's so quick and she's so tiny for someone like me who like I have long strides and I make big tackles. Like that is so nerve-wracking when I'm against someone with little tiny steps because like if I don't do it right, it's a foul. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'd say some like people who are really tiny and really quick.
Perfect, perfect. As somebody who is a pro athlete, you do a lot of interviews. What's the question you get asked the most?
Mm. I get asked about Bobby a lot. It's probably because I don't shut up about her. But at the end of every interview, it's Bobby. What's up with Bobby? I get asked about my tattoos a lot.
Well, I'm glad I started it with Bobby instead of ended it with Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was doing some research, found out that you worked at Paradise Grill in
Oh
Marietta.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
what what is your go-to order at Paradise Grill?
Oh, guy. Okay. So I think I was working around Mexican food so much when I was there. I really didn't like get the Mexican food. I would get like the grilled chicken Caesar wrap or like the wings. Those were my go-tos. Yeah.
Love it. And sticking on the food theme here, best eats in DC.
Oh, okay. I'm a fraud because I really haven't been to DC that much because we live like, really far out. Like we're based out of like Northern Virginia.
Right,
Um,
right.
too. But I went to a place recently in DC in Georgetown. I love Thai food, Vietnamese food, all that stuff. And it's called Rim Tang. And it's in like this
Okay,
really cute yellow house, like right in Georgetown. And I loved it. It was so good.
perfect. Just a couple more here for you. What's on your playlist right now?
Mm. This is one that's always on my playlist. Unforgettable by French Montana and Sway Lee. That's a good one that I listen to a lot.
And on a cross country plane ride, what are you listening to? Are you listening to a podcast? You listen to a playlist? Well, watching a
Oh,
movie?
I listen to a playlist. I have a playlist of like all my oldies but goodies, and I only save it for plane rides, even though it's getting kind of overplayed because I be on the plane a lot. So, yeah.
All right, and last one here for you. What's the key going forward for the Spirit to have a successful season?
Consistency. I think like what we talked about earlier about like how sometimes I feel like our style of play requires a lot of like chemistry and learning how to move off of each other. And once you kind of build that up, it's about like maintaining that. Because once again, it's such a long season, like it's so easy to have like mountains and valleys. I think like finding a good, like consistent state to stay in of winning. But yeah.
Perfect. Hal, thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it. We look forward to following you, the rest of the Spirit, and the rest of the league as we go forward. So, yeah, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. For everybody else, we'll see you next time. I love you, awesome nerds.